Hello and welcome back to Empires of Europe 1700. So my vassals have been busy. I haven't actually done anything at this point in time because I've just been relaxing in Naples. And the reason why I've been relaxing is because I've just been recruiting people, I've just been recruiting people. I realized I was, 100 units down from all our sieges and everything. So I've basically just been recruiting, leveling them up, and trying to basically get back to full strength. And we're kind of there. We still have a relatively large number of lower level troops, but to a certain degree, because this mod is indeed in the musket era, we don't really need to be super difficult, or shall we say try-hardy when it comes to getting our people back to higher levels. We don't really need to try super hard because we are indeed blessed with guns. And guns basically eliminate the skill ceiling in many cases. So, because basically a level 1 troop is going to do the same damage or relatively similar damage as a, tier 4 or tier 5 troop, just because it's a gun and it has really high damage. Anyway, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a look here. Minus 25% troop wages while we're in a siege camp, or minus 40% food consumption. I think the food consumption is absolutely insane, so we're probably going to be taking that. And I have a focus point. Now, here's the funny thing. I actually don't know what to spec into. From my perspective, I feel like this is absolutely impossible because I'm not actually using any one-handeds anymore. I guess we could go for tactics skill. I guess tactics skill might actually be kind of useful. Roguery skill could be kind of useful to a degree. Maybe. Just very much depends. Anyway, I did manage to find a new companion. She is also a scouting specialist, which is really nice. I outfitted her in some of the gear that I have in my inventory, and then I basically sent her off and gave her Syracuse and Novum. Basically, I just awarded these to myself when they got taken by Neymar, who is now over there taking Cagliari, and, that's obviously going to happen relatively soon. Now, we are... Oh! Wait a minute. I thought we were actually at war against someone else over here, but apparently we're not. Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, well, we can technically make peace with the Spanish now, as you can see. They do want to make peace with us. I don't blame them, to be honest. We have been on an absolute tear. I haven't personally done anything, but our vassals have really been making them pay. And I would very much like to actually continue making them pay, so I think our borders are far from those of the enemy. Okay. So now, here's the thing. I 100% agree. I do think they're too far away at the moment. However, I do want Neymar to finish her siege. I want her to finish, finish the siege over there. And hopefully that's going to, hopefully provide us with a little bit of extra security. And generally, this is going to be a fantastic place just to have a fief because it's just going to chill, It's just going to chill right there, and it's just going to continue gaining. And there you go. There it is. Immediately taken right there. Not too bad. She has been there for quite some time, but the fact is, the episode's just begun. So obviously, there you have it. Anyway, now let's see what the vote is going to give us. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to give our new vassal this. And indeed, it does look as though she is on the ticket. So I'm going to immediately be providing her this fief. She can run between the, other two fiefs that she has on the Italian mainland. And then she can also go over to the island relatively easily. Now, I'm going to take a look at the Spanish real fast. Okay, we are going to receive 190 tribute per day. And then we can decide if we want to declare war against someone else. I think it probably could be a relatively good thing to do because you could see here, look at what we got going on. The Spanish are really far away from us now. I don't really want to continue doing battle against them, so I'm thinking we're gonna do this now. There we go. And oh, Alexander was actually a prisoner. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We did have a bunch of them prisoner in the in the interim anyway, so I suppose that's just, a fair exchange, I guess, even though we had, 20 of them as prisoners or something? I don't even know. Anyway, Rome is doing absolutely fantastically, as you might expect. I'm actually just going to be going here and just getting a huge amount of food. because I do want to make sure that we're going to be absolutely fine when we go forward here, because I am going to probably go on a bit of a siege spree if I can. It is a little bit, shall we say, not impossible, but it is a little bit difficult to do that in this mod unless you have like a really large army. And I don't really want to, as I've said to you before multiple times, I don't really like making armies myself because it restricts the AI from doing things that are actually really useful, and because they auto-resolve most of their, you know, most of their engagements, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker for us to gain territory and everything. So I'm thinking right now that I would like to take back Milan, if at all possible. I think that would be a pretty fun thing to do, considering these guys are literally just rebels. I think it might make sense. So let's have a look. Yes, there we go. We're going to declare war against him. We'll just auto-resolve against this guy because he's just one person. And, oh, he's got some pretty decent people. All right. Funnily enough, I don't think I'm going to be able to persuade any of these prisoners to join me because I just don't have enough space. So, unfortunately, we're just going to have to go forward with this. And let's see what we can do. All right. They've got 14 days worth of food. I would prefer not doing that, if at all possible. Now, what we're going to try to do, this is going to be a completely different style of siege, because usually what I'm doing is I'm taking down the walls, right? Well, I think it might be a cool idea if we do something a little bit different, and I'm going to destroy all the catapults, right? We're going to destroy all the catapults on the walls, and then we are going to go for siege towers and a battering ram. And we're going to see whether that has a slightly higher success rate, or shall we say an equivalent success rate to us destroying the walls. Because obviously, as we know, walls being destroyed are really good. You know, destroying the walls is absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the most reliable ways of taking a fief. But I'm thinking right now that maybe if we can do this, we might have the opportunity to, you know, get some good feedback from it. You know, we might be able to see, you know, a relatively successful test of these tactics, because it's been a long time since I've actually used a siege tower strategy and a battering ram strategy, because it's just not... like, no offense, okay, no offense, but it's just not very good, you know, because most of the time what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to destroy all of the catapults on the walls, and then you're going to have to build all of those things, and then, well, at that point, you've gotten the walls down so dramatically that there's no point in actually doing anything else, you know, because as you can see right here, the walls are actually almost half down, and I've only built one of these siege towers. So I guess the best thing for us to do in future, maybe, it just very much depends on the timeline, because the enemy can also build catapults much faster as you are building your siege camp, you see, because as you build your siege camp, they can build their catapults, and then they're going to be completely and utterly ready to go. But we're going to just destroy this last little catapult here, and then we're going to be going in. Can we please destroy that? Thank you very much. Okay, whew. We were getting a little bit bad on that one. Okay, so we are going to go straight on in. There are no catapults, or there shouldn't be any catapults on the enemy side, and that means we're going to have a good time, or at least we should. We should have a good time, hopefully. So let's see what happens. Let me see. Okay, so the battering ram is going to go up to the main gate, and then the... let me see here. I think the other... it depends, actually. I don't know where this is going to go. Well, this other siege tower is going to go here, for sure. Okay, well, I guess we'll just let them do their own thing. We'll just let my troops do their own thing, and we'll just see what happens. Because as I say, I haven't done anything like this before with this mod, and it is very much a big test to see whether it's actually any good. It seems pretty decent so far. We seem to be killing quite a few, thanks to the fact that the enemy is consistently getting shot by us, which is quite nice. I wouldn't mind actually... Wait a minute. Let me see here. Can I... Oh, yeah. I might be able to do something really cool. Okay, there we go. Yes, there we are. That's what I'm talking about. Because obviously the enemy is congregating right here, which is absolutely perfection, you know? It's just so incredibly good, because that means if they're standing all in a line there or all in a group, it's much, much easier for us to inflict damage with our grenades. However, we are starting to suffer quite a few casualties, but not as much as the enemy, so we should be okay. At least I hope so. I've got to be a little bit careful. See, now, this is the reason why I didn't actually believe that I got shot from up here, because I think I died, like, right here. And the enemy, as you could see, doesn't have any way of shooting me from this angle, so it's a bit strange. I'm not entirely sure why that happened, but oh well, never mind. We're going to go up the siege tower. Ah, yeah, as you can see, we might have an entry point, which would be pretty cool. Okay, seems to be working quite nicely. Oh, hello there. Okay, that's a lot of people. Got to be really, really careful. I am probably going to get absolutely slaughtered here. I might. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, that was a neck shot right there. Okay, so we have 300 troops. We've already eliminated 235. How many do they have? Like 500, right? We have almost 400 troops. So technically we could win this, but it's not looking good so far. Yeah, it's not looking good so far. We're gonna have to get out of here, unfortunately. So yeah, there it is. So that's a little bit of a test on how good the siege tower battering ram strategy is. I personally would have liked to have seen a little bit more of it, and unfortunately, you know, it's just, you know, it's just the mod, you know, it just doesn't allow you to do that because you just get shot. You know, you just get shot immediately and then you're dead and then it's game over. But at least we've actually done some pretty significant damage, and the walls are very, very much almost close to being destroyed. Alright, so we're going to go back on in, and we're going to leave. I have left my cannons up and running. And the reason why I've left them up and running is because I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe if our cannons can get us a little bit of value here and there, then I'll be in a slightly better position. I mean, you can see here that hopefully I can maybe just prevent myself from dying just a little bit. You know, I don't really want to do, you know, I don't really... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really want to get absolutely 100% murdered instantly, but yeah. Obviously, me going up there on a horse, that was probably not the best idea, but we do have a much greater shot of actually achieving victory this time. As you can see, we've actually already eliminated triple the amount of, well, double now, but double the amount of troops that the enemy had, and we might be okay. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Whew, this is close. This is going to come down to the wire, actually. Look at this. This is going to come down to very, very small amounts of troops fighting it out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, we have about 50 troops remaining. So, yeah, there you go. So, that's a little bit of a preliminary test as to how good the siege tower / battering ram strategy is. Doesn't seem that good, unfortunately. I would have liked it to have provided a somewhat better alternative to destroying the walls, but as you saw, I literally destroyed the walls anyway, and, well, you know, that's it, you know, and unfortunately it didn't really do much, which is kind of sad, but that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Anyway, we can now recruit a bunch of prisoners, which is always nice, and then we can level these guys up, of course. Get that. There we go. Get some of those. And oh, these guys can actually be rescued. Oh, my bad. I didn't actually realize that they were rescued prisoners. I thought they were actual prisoners. My bad. Okay, there you go. All right, that is fine. We got 35,000 coming our way. Sure, I will be happy with that because then we can level up another 28 people, and then we're going to do exactly that. There we are. Absolutely fantastic. Very, very nice. Show mercy here. Oh, we're declaring war against the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, apparently Neymar wants to lead the charge here. All right, who am I to say no? I'm happy to do that. I'm a little bit injured at the moment, so I probably won't be able to take part in this, unfortunately. Oh, they want to disavow forgiveness of debts. Nope. I don't want to do that, but I am losing my I am losing a huge amount of influence every single day for some reason. Why am I losing influence right here? I'm gaining 10 influence per day, so I should be absolutely fine, but Apparently, yeah, they really do not like forgiveness of debts. The AI is super weird when it comes to that. I actually don't know the reason for it either. Because from my perspective, I personally believe that forgiveness of debts is one of the best policies in the entire game. Just because it provides you with such a large amount of loyalty. And the fact is, look at it. It gives you 2 loyalty per day, and settlement production is reduced by 5%. Who cares about 5%? You know what I mean? Like 5% for me, I personally don't believe that really does much, but you take forgiveness of debts and you put that together with any one of the other loyalty producing policies, and you immediately have an incredible loyalty producer, and you don't need to worry about it anymore. You don't need to worry about loyalty at all. Obviously, there are cases where you don't need to worry about it in general. Let's say that, you know, if you have a governor or something like that that is the same culture as your town, then that, of course, makes a massive difference. You know, I mean, well, I wouldn't say massive difference because, let's face it, it's still just going to provide, you know, it's going to give you like +1 instead of 0. But, you know, having that 1 could potentially disregard another policy. Or, I mean, that's basically half of forgiveness of debts. So, you know, to a certain degree, it's actually pretty good. But, yeah, as I say, it's not that big a deal, in my opinion. Not that big a deal, the 5% that we're going to lose from those things. That's why I always find it super weird that the AI really, really hates it. I don't understand it, to be honest. Because the funny thing is, without forgiveness of debts, you can best bet that most of the thieves that we're taking right now, they would have extremely low loyalty, right? You know, because as soon as you take them, they have very, very low loyalty because obviously they've been under siege for a while and everything, and their security is in the dumps, and you know, it's very, very difficult to get them stabilized. And getting them stabilized is obviously the job of forgiveness of debts. That's the reason why we want to get that as soon as possible. Because it really does, as I say, it really does have that kind of a significant impact. And it's very sad to see that the AI is so weird about it, but it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't really matter. We can just try to brute force it at the moment, but unfortunately, I don't have enough influence anymore, and we're going to have to let our vassals choose what they want to disavow in the future. And if they decide to disavow forgiveness of debts, then that's just how it's going to have to be. Or any policy for that matter. They will probably be I mean, I'm saying it now. They will probably be doing that in a few days, probably again, because they just do not stop. Pretty much, they just don't stop. They really, really want to make sure that that is gone, which is kind of sad. But what can I do? All right, so we got another vote here, and this is obviously for some other town or castle or whatever. And we're just going to be giving that to Lena. She is actually German, by the way. So this means that any thieves we take that have the same kind of culture, the owner is now not going to have a problem with the culture deficit. So in other words, it's not going to provide us with any kind of penalty, which is fantastic. And we've got to say, there is actually something going on with the policies. I wanted to show you this because marshals literally just got instituted by Uros. He decided that he was going to call for this, and I obviously couldn't do anything about it anyway, but it doesn't really matter to me in the least, because let's face it, 1 influence reduction per day for me is basically nothing. You know, that really is not a big deal. And armies led by tier 5 plus nobles require 10% less influence, which is obviously, you know, pretty good. But now, another thing, which I think is actually really hilarious. I have been besieging this particular castle for a relatively long amount of time, and unfortunately for me, it feels like this is harder than a town. Is that just me? I don't know. It feels like it's been more difficult to take than a town. The walls took an inordinate amount of time to destroy, and well, now we're here. So I guess I guess we may have the opportunity to do something pretty cool here. Maybe it very much depends. Hopefully, I'm not going to get shot instantaneously. Although to be fair, I probably will. That's kind of my it's kind of my thing, isn't it?
Everyone.
Yes, it's kind of my thing. Okay, so let me just put my people around about there. I'm just going to put my people around about here. I don't really want them to charge in, if that's possible, so... Huh. Well, I guess that happened. Huh. Well... Not entirely sure what to really say about that, to be honest, because I'm, right now I'm thinking to myself, haha, I got killed by friendly fire. I don't think my cannons are still out there, are they? They're not. It must have been a grenadier or something. Yeah. Must have been a grenadier that was throwing a grenade or something like that, because I saw a bunch of people at the same time be killed, so I assume it was a grenadier that literally threw a grenade in the midst of all of my forces. Well, that was disappointing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was very, very disappointing. Okay, so let me see here. I trust you will respect the custom of war and allow me to pay a fair ransom. Yes, absolutely. I will do that. No problem whatsoever, sir. No problem. There we go. All right. Just going to make sure that his head is separated from his shoulders relatively soon. And, well, otherwise, just make sure that we get the loot that we need. There we go. Manage the town a little bit. And, wait a minute. This is a town? Oh. Never mind. I literally thought... Okay, wait a minute. I literally thought this was... I thought this was a castle for some reason. Why did I think this was a castle? Okay, that's weird. Alright, well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Let's just remain calm, okay? Let's just glaze over the fact that I did not realize that this was a town, because I think it was probably because the sprite looks like a castle to me. But maybe that's just, I don't know. It's kind of strange, because I know that Lyon is indeed a relatively large, large place, kind of, I guess, to a degree. And, yeah, I probably should have realized that that was indeed a town when it was so difficult for us to eliminate. They were building their catapults extremely, extremely quickly, and that was the main reason why we were having so many issues. Okay, so I have no idea what we should really do here. I guess Lena should just capture all of these, should just really take ownership of all of these, just to make sure that she has the largest army that she can possibly have. Hopefully, at least. There's barely any defenders here. So I guess what I should do is probably just relax here for a little bit of time and just recruit a couple of people. I don't really like recruiting random people, to be honest. If I can help it, I would much prefer to have regular people, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, they're all the same statistically as far as I'm aware, so it doesn't really matter that much, but I guess to a degree maybe it does. Anyway, as you can see, we are actually eating into their territory relatively nicely. I like it. As you can see, Neymar is running around with an 1,100 strong army just because we have so many of these vassals that are now spawning additional vassals, because obviously, you know, as soon as you create a vassal out of a companion, you get another additional, I think, 3 or 2 people for that particular clan, and that's absolutely fantastic. That really is making a huge difference. Aha! The Holy Roman Empire and the Polish have now made peace. Yes, they're wanting... I know what they're doing. They want to be careful now. They want to be super, super careful because they realize that they are in a tough spot. They are wanting to focus on us dramatically. Oh, what? They want to declare war? Our vassals want to declare war against the Venetians? Right now, we are stronger than the Venetians. We should strike while we can. Oh, they only have 2 towns and 1 castle. Sure, okay, fine. I can't prevent them, okay? I cannot prevent them, I don't think, because there are so many vassals. This is also the problem with having so many vassals, by the way, is that they will literally be able to force you into doing things that you don't necessarily want them to do, and even if it's a really, really stupid thing, they can just push it forward, you know? they can literally just push it forward. And I guess that's what happens when you're in a democracy. You know, when you're in a democracy, you don't have one person that decides on everything, and they can't just, you know, sign some paper and then everything just goes to, you know, goes to the dogs, as it were. That's a dictatorship, you know, when you have one person that can literally just make all the decisions and everything. That's a dictatorship rather than a democracy. Whereas what we have going on right here, obviously, here's the thing. Obviously, because the AI is not exactly smart, they do tend to make some pretty poor decisions. And for me personally, I don't really mind if they want to declare war against the Venetians, but I would prefer if they would just focus on who we currently have as an opponent, which is obviously the HRE. But I mean, the Venetians are not that much of a threat. Maybe I don't really know. But anyway, that's the funny thing. I'm not even trying to really have a dictatorship right here. The democracy part, that is just a thing, you know. That's just a natural evolution. You know, because obviously we started off with me making all the decisions because I basically only had one vassal. And, well, he couldn't really do anything about it because, let's face it, he didn't have any influence to you know, kind of oppose us. And obviously, I was making all the decisions mostly based upon the fact that we needed to increase our loyalty. That is the entire point. We needed to increase our loyalty by a dramatic margin. Otherwise, we were going to have some huge issues with rebellion of our newly conquered fiefs. And so having the ability to make those decisions, that was obviously very, very much, very, very important. However, now things are looking much more like a democratic society, which I actually really like. I think that's pretty cool, and that's something that I really enjoy about the game. However, it is now approaching that kind of situation where you are basically being led around, you know? You're being led around by your vassals, and you can't really do anything about it. Because even though I am winning battles, you know, I'm winning sieges, I'm winning battles, I'm capturing things myself, and I'm actually having a bit of an impact on the world at large, my influence gain is not enough to really counteract anything that they're doing. So if they want to declare war, let's say that they want to declare war against someone like, I don't know, the British or the Spanish again, or the Ottoman Empire, or someone that's really strong. We can't do anything about that. It's going to require a large influence investment, and that's what's going to happen. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going on with that, which is to a degree actually kind of exciting to see what the AI decides to do based upon their own, you know, particular specific set of circumstances. Because let's face it, we don't want to be in a dictatorship in general, and I do want them to be happy with themselves, and I want them to be happy with their, you know, quality of life or whatever. You know, if it was all about me, then I'd be having every single bit of a fief that I can. You know what I mean? I would literally have every single fief under my belt that we have taken. But obviously that's not the case. I only have one. And there's a reason for that, because we want to make sure that our vassals are the most powerful that they can be. And that's what you do in a democratic place, isn't it? Yeah, that is what you do. You don't look out for number one. You don't try to make as much money as possible. You try to help the people. And, well, to a degree, you obviously try to conquer everyone. Which is obviously what we're doing here. Yeah, anyway, I'm just going to try to destroy this last catapult here. There we go. And now we will get rid of our cannons. Get those out of the way. There we go, thank you. I want to make sure that I live through this siege, because I'm dying in almost every single siege. And I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of that, you know. While I may be relatively laid back when it comes to me getting killed, I personally don't really care about dying because it doesn't really matter to me that much. But it would be kind of fun to throw a couple more grenades than just one or two, wouldn't it? I think it would be kind of fun at least. Anyway, let's just see. If I jump over here, maybe we can get inside. Should I actually tell my forces to charge in? I think I should probably not do that. Let's just get them over there. There we go. I'm just going to make sure that they stand there. Nice. Nice. Okay, don't get killed, don't get killed, don't get killed. Oh, I almost died. Whew. That was close. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. There we go. Now, this is what's really funny as well. Us having the capability of being able to do this dramatically... Oh, yeah, I was kind of hoping not to get shot there, but I could see the guy, and I knew he was aiming at me, but I thought to myself, hey, you know what? If something happens, at least I've killed 70 people. That's kind of good, right? That's kind of good, because now look at what we've got going on here. We've got a pretty decent charge into the keep, because obviously if I can clear out, this is one of those things that is very, very much, you know, should we say, dependent on the player character. Because if the player character can come over here and literally just lob a bunch of grenades in and completely clear out this area, then have their forces charge in while that area is cleared, then you can have a much easier time of things. Then everything is going to work out so much better for you in general. However, obviously that's not always the case. Most of the time you're going to get shot and killed like I did, but you know, as I say, once again, not much I could do about that. Anyway, we're just going to do that. 30,000 in experience for us right there as well. Manage the castle. Do I really want to do that? I mean, look at this. I'm getting 4 loyalty every single day. I mean, technically, forgiveness of debts is not necessary in this case, but what if the security was even lower than this? You know, what if the security was even lower? We may need to do something like that. Or at least in my opinion. I feel like maybe that's necessary. Anyway, I'm just going to execute this guy. I forgot to actually do that. So there we go. We'll execute her as well. This is a equal opportunities, you know, equal opportunities workplace right here. Making sure that everyone dies, you know. That's how things go right here. And... it's a democracy. That's what I said. It's a democracy. Got to make sure everyone has an equal chance to get absolutely murdered by our executioner's axe. That's what we do. And otherwise, we've now captured this castle. Let's have a look and actually see. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. The Spanish declared war on us again? When did they do that? Am I losing it, or did I not notice that they declared war against us? I must have not noticed. Okay, that's quite funny. All right, so that's very interesting. So they really did not want to continue paying us tribute. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that makes a huge amount of sense. But we look at our strength now. Look at our combat strength. You remember when we had 2,000, right? Yeah, I do. All right, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting because I don't have really any way of... I mean, I can kind of make peace, I guess, but I have 0% support from pretty much everyone. So it's going to be, I think, probably almost impossible for us to make peace here. So let's actually see what happens. Do we have any armies in their territory? No. We just have Radoslav, and he's running around with 1,500, which is obviously a significant number. And I'm going to assume that he wants to eliminate the Venetians. Now, the problem is, I don't really have the capability of taking things super, super fast. It takes me about a week or 2 in-game to be able to take something. And that is rather expensive in terms of time lost. You know what I mean? That's a pretty significant time expenditure. And to a degree... you really don't want to be doing that, you know? You really don't want to be doing that because that is inherently going to mean that you are then spending more time besieging and your opponent is also going to be spending that time besieging, but they're going to be faster because they're the AI and they're going to be, you know, auto-resolving it and all that stuff. I mean, it very much depends, I suppose. I guess it depends. My engineer is hopefully doing a relatively decent job. Who's that? Oh, okay, we've got some rebels over there. Interesting. Okay, let's see what's actually going on at Metz. Okay, no, this is absolutely fine. Oh, Lena is running around with 600? I guess that's the reason why we want to give her so many fiefs, right? I guess. Wow, I don't know what's going on with the vassals. I mean, they always do that in these Europe mods for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe something's wrong with my game. I have no clue, but There you go. That is pretty fantastic. Anyway, that's probably going to be it for this episode. I have no idea how this is really going to go, but all I know is that we're at war against the Spanish, the Venetians, obviously, not for long if Radislav has anything to say about it, and the Holy Roman Empire. And I'm going to be very interested to see whether they are going to be... whether they're going to be coming at us. Anyone else is going to be coming at us. And yeah, the British are apparently, wow, they're coming in right here, as you can see. They're actually deciding to dismantle the French quite dramatically. Okay, well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.